What's up, everybody? Welcome into the JESS MARSHALL Podcast Solo Edition here leading up to the Christmas weekend. I hope everybody's got their Christmas shopping done, or if you're a dude, I hope you're going to get started here in a day or two. Anyhow, welcome on in. I appreciate you joining me for the JESS MARSHALL Podcast, brought to you by Autograph Construction. We are your restoration contractor of choice, especially if you've been hit by recent wind or hail. If you need help because of this impending, terrible, inclement, freezing weather, you should email me live at autographconstruction.com, or you can inbox me anytime on Instagram at Jess from the Northwest. This is a live edition of my solo podcast. I've only done a few of these.
Curious Jess, right?
Yeah, we're going to call it possibly Curious Jess, playing on Curious George. I don't know. Curious has a weird word, a weird definition about it. It means different things to different people. But yeah, we're going to kick around topics that I'm interested in, that I'm passionate about, and then Sohail and I, we kick around topics that are either trending and current and topical, or crazy topics like the psychedelic folklore of the Christmas story. So glad everybody's here. If you are tuning in live, thank you. I know it's the middle of the day, and it's a weird difference shooting these live as opposed to recording them, even though we don't edit them. I get this different adrenaline high, which is rad. It's very, very similar to getting ready to run on the rugby field. And I don't know if you know this. Today is my birthday, 12/22. I'm a proud Capricorn. I don't know if it's masculine to know that or not. We're going to talk a lot about masculinity today. But I share a birthday with the game of rugby. And I think that's fucking badass. And I hope you do too. And if you don't, I really don't give a fuck. Yo, all the cocaine, all the booze, let's go. I think it's pretty cool that yesterday or the day before was the memorial service for Mike Leach. Talked a lot about Mike, his untimely passing last week, what made Mike different, and what inspires me about the way Mike lives his life. But a bunch of really cool people spoke at his memorial service, which was down in Starkville, Mississippi. Packed house at their basketball arena down there at Mississippi State. And the man, the myth, the legend, Gardner Minshew, who, cult hero, big mustache, awesome guy, Washington State's very own. He spoke at the memorial service. Sohail, if you can find some Gardner Minshew highlights of Mike Leach, I believe there's some outstanding cussmanship used in his eulogy of Mike, talking about Mike.
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, Gardner.
Mustache guy.
Yes, and while you look up, last name is Minshew, Minshew, like cashew, but not really, but sort of. Very, very big congrats go to Gardner, because this week against your own, very own hometown favorites, the Dallas Cowboys, Gardner will be leading those Philadelphia Eagles into battle. And he is a well-qualified quarterback. I think he could start for about 15 teams in the league. He started his career in Jacksonville, and then they drafted Trevor Lawrence. He was picked up by the Eagles, and he is a backup to Jalen Hurts, who's had an amazing season, who's highly underrated. And, yeah, if we've got – pump that up if that's Gardner talking about Mike Leach, because it was classic. Premier cussmanship.
It's awesome to see everybody, the outpouring this last week or so, all the stories.
Greg
just
Allman.
the impact the coach had on so many people, whether, you played for him, coached with him, or met him on his walk to work, whatever, he had that kind of way of touching you, As a kid, I love Coach. I didn't know him, but when I was in 6th or 7th grade, my dad was my Pee Wee coach. He drove a couple hours because we heard a guy, Wyatt Rogers, Will Rogers' dad, was running air raid. So my dad drove 2 hours, got the air raid playbook, brought it back. So some of the first plays I ever ran in football was that. There was a confidence that came with just being around Coach Leach, He was different. You never really felt like an underdog with him. He had confidence. It was part confidence, part just really not giving a fuck what people thought, It was one of the two, but it was awesome, man. It was contagious.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Made you feel so
Either
good when you were with them.
confidence
Felt like you could do anything,
or
you know?
not giving a
There was
fuck.
no facade, ego,
little
or
bit.
front. It was all just him, man. And that didn't matter who you were, who was around, what the setting was.
I mean,
You always
knowing
got
Mike
coach,
Leach,
you
why
know.
would these people care? that
Wasn't
he said
watered
the F-bomb?
down.
I know.
Definitely wasn't politically correct. But that was okay, you know it was just him. And you could always respect that.
Not politically correct and didn't give a rat's ass about what anybody thought about him. And I think that we should all aspire to be so original. I mean, life is very short, y'all. I said that last week. A lot of things this year. Franco Harris just passed away yesterday. Pittsburgh Steeler legend. Quite possibly the greatest play in the history of the National Football League. That's another one for you to look up, Sohail, as we go very sports intensive right off
Say
the bat
again.
here. Franco Harris, Pittsburgh Steelers, with the perfectly named Immaculate Reception. You know, when you hear famous people talked about after they pass away, I, at least, maybe y'all don't, but I really reflect on, wow, what would people say about me if I was to pass away in my sleep tonight? What was that clip last week about making pretend? Oh, that was Gary Vee. You got to make
Need
pretend
you to
about the worst
Wake
thing that
up
can
every day and make pretend that your mom is shot in the face.
in the face, bro. And that's the best thing he's ever done. Okay, Franco Harris, legend, fullback. Roll that beautiful footage. I don't even remember who
Last
this was
chance for
against.
the Steelers.
Against the Cowboys?
Bradshaw trying to get
Looks like
away.
it, yeah.
And his pass
This is crazy.
is broken up by Tatum. Tipped off. Franco Harris has it. And he's over.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hopefully they replay it. Because the cameraman thought it was a dead play.
Ball on a deflection.
It's an incomplete pass that gets batted back. He scoops it up at about knee or shin level, runs it in, and it's like a walk-off score.
1 million to 1 odds
It's
on
crazy.
this one.
AFC Championship
Ricochet
game.
out there off of
Look at this
Jack
shit.
Tatum and into the man of the year,
Yeah.
Franco Harris's
Shin
hand.
high.
Here's the miracle of all miracles.
And that's a very stout athlete right there. For him to have that agility to be able to reach down and pick that up, the hand-eye coordination, but also just the agility for a guy that powerful was unbelievable. When you really think about it, guys, gals, you know, life is, like I said, it's very short. What we do every day defines us. Obviously, our decisions, the decisions we make every day, how we treat people, how we treat ourselves, they all add up, and that's then put into the oven, and out pops the baked version, the final product that is our lives. And I think that, you know, I talked a little about this last week, but we have to be seeing things more as life is this game. Yes, we play for keeps, but this is a survival of the fittest literal game every day. The littlest thing can take you out, and you can't get bogged down in that and not get out there and not give your best. But you always have to have it in the back of your mind that, wow, okay, I need to enjoy the moment. At the same time, I need to be doing my best. I need to treat people with respect and with love and with kindness because they might really be going through it. At the same time, I got to let my survival instinct, my ego guide me and make sure I'm not getting conned or ripped off or taken for a ride. And that's something in life that, man, that can be stressful, can be very, very hectic. I've really found that it's helped me in the last 6 months to be thinking of things as skill and ability building opportunities. If somebody comes at you and they accuse you of something that's incorrect, just taking a moment to slow it down, to consider what's happening, to plan your next move, to try, if you can. Sometimes you get into that fight or flight and you just have to roll with it. But if you can, try to slow it down, and instead of reacting to things, whether it's people, situations, crazy weather, formulate a response. So respond instead of react. It is that skill building that I think is going to make life more enjoyable for me. because it puts it into this context. I've always been an athlete. Competition has defined me. It's been my favorite time of the week growing up, playing basketball, football, rugby, whatever, fighting. Not at the level of my guest this afternoon, the Dallas great MMA legend Guy Mesger, but when you step into the ring with an opponent, whether they're favored or you're favored or you both come in as scratch equals, whatever it is, man, it's all on the line. How you perform right then is the result of how you trained up to right then. Wanted to talk this week about what I see a lot with guys, especially on social media. And I see this more on Facebook, I think, because Facebook is almost like this open blog. Facebook is more of a blog. It's you put some thoughts on there, or you might think you have some rad saying to put up, or a picture or a video. It's definitely way more old school than TikTok. That's for damn sure. And even Instagram, yes, there are captions, but Facebook also skews to maybe an older demographic, if you will. I'm not super fond of Facebook, but I just wanted to talk about this because I'm noticing this a lot. And I talked about this last week on the solo. You know, the holidays, they bring out, I feel like, loneliness. They bring out sadness and depression in people, and I totally sympathize with that because I've been there 100%. But I am seeing this very unmanly, unmasculine trait out there, this complaining. Whether it doesn't really matter what it's about. I don't like these people, they're fake. I'm going to put that on social media. I have no fucking idea what that accomplishes. I don't know what change you expect that post to make. And I also don't think when you write out a complaint, you type it out and you press post and you put it out there into the universe. I have no fucking idea what you, Mr. Victim, Mr. Down on your luck, crying in your milk, I have no idea what you think that's going to accomplish for you. Am I saying internalize everything? No, I'm fucking not. But I'm also saying, man, it makes you look very, very weak. Appearance is not everything. Some of the strongest people in the world are some of the quietest. But if you're going after the girl of your dreams, in what fucking alternate universe do you think she's going to pull up your social media and see your victim bullshit and be like, oh yeah, that's a guy who I'm super attracted to? Am I saying be fake? No, I'm not. But if the real you is a little bitch boy victim, I would highly motherfucking recommend that you get with buddies or a professional, DM me, I don't care. You will get nothing but empathy, sympathy, love from me, but I will also point you in the direction of action, because taking action and being productive, those are the things that have helped me get past this time in my life when I was caught up and trapped in depression. And I'm telling you, man, dwelling on it, ruminating on it, sizzling and marinating on your bullshit, getting people to feel sorry for you, talking about how sick you are, injured you are, how hurt your feelings you are, because this girl, that girl. Brother, step your game the fuck up. You're tired of your girl? As soon as you have a fight with her, she goes on some dating site and is swiping? Are you doing the same thing, man? Are you? For real. Because a lot of y'all are. It's very unmanly. That is not the way you lead. You can live your life any fucking way you want. I can tell you the way I lead my household. I lead from the front. Have I always done that? Absolutely not. I'm not perfect. I never have claimed to be. You get me alone, you DM me, you text me, I will walk you through my story, beginning to end. I don't think it's productive use of time up here at the studio for me to go through all the shit I've been through, but I can tell you I've been through it. I'm still going through stuff. I go through stuff every day. I feel much, much better when I am empowered, when I am taking action, when I am being productive, when I am being intentional about my day. That means I schedule my day. I happen to my day. My day doesn't motherfucking happen to me. What does that mean? Does that mean if someone gets in a car accident and that traffic slows me down and I can't make it to an appointment on time, that I crumble and that my day goes to hell? Absolutely not. Become adaptable. Last week, had Leo on talking about the most badass animals on the planet, talking about how these animals in their genetics have this ability to adapt. We were talking about those Belgian Malinois. I mean, these dogs can do anything and everything. Do you know how much more capable you are than you give yourself fucking credit for? We go all around, this happened, this person stole from me, this person is talking behind my back, this girl, she cheated on me. Bro, raise your game. I'm talking to you dudes, straight right down the barrel, right in your eyes. I'm talking right at you. Raise your game. This is a fucking competition. You want the dream girl? Be out of her league. There's no girl out of your league unless you say that. If those words come out of your mouth, if those words are rolling through your mind, that's how you're going to live your life. That's how you're going to fucking carry yourself. Do you walk into the room with confidence, whether it is fake confidence, real confidence, or somewhere in between? Figure it the fuck out. When you go to the gym, are you getting in there and you doing quality time, quality work? I'm guilty as fuck of this. I am. I 100% admit I'm looking at my phone. I'm trying to multitask. I got to turn that son of a bitch over, put it on mute, and I got to go for 45 to an hour to get what I need out of my workout so that I can sleep that night and also so that I can carry myself with the confidence that I like to carry myself with. Are you doing that? When you ask a girl out, are you expecting her to be living a different life than you live? Are you expecting her to eat clean? Are you expecting her to have good sleep habits? Are you expecting that the content she consumes is positive, is helping her enhance her own performance and optimize her mental health and physical? Are you expecting that? Because if you're expecting that and you're not doing that, fuck you, man. There is nothing more emasculine than hypocrisy. I've talked about on the podcast with guests. I throw it in almost every single podcast. So Hill, you know this. I don't care if they wear a tie and they talk to you from a pulpit or they wear a lab coat and they write prescriptions. I don't care if they're on a stage wearing a suit, making you promises to win your vote. I don't care if they make you kneel down and put your hand on your helmet because they're your coach. Pastor, teacher, professor, doctor, doesn't matter. How do men lose their credibility fastest? They get found out as hypocrites. If you don't practice what you preach, they're going to preach about what you practice. There is no doubt about that. You don't even have to talk about what you expect, though. If in your mind you expect to be with a girl, your dream girl, she is this tall, she looks like this, she has these credentials, she makes this money, she has this attitude, she's going to be the mother of my children. You better as hell be bringing your game to the field. And you better as hell, if you're going to compete for her attention, her love, and you're going to win her love, we don't own anyone in this world. There's no doubt about that, but there are genetic facts. There is nature all around us all the time. It's the reason why we lust. It's the reason why we look at someone, we're attracted to them. If you're attracted to someone and they're not attracted to you, stop wasting your time. You have two options there, in my opinion. You move on, and this is most certainly a move-on culture, right? At the tip of your finger at any given time, you can go on a dating app, and you can swipe right every single time if you want, left every single time if you want, whatever. That's option one, move on. Option two, take a step back. Now, I'm telling you guys, if you read Robert Greene at all, the dude's a genius. Best nonfiction writer on the planet, in my opinion, my favorite at least. You go meet a female. If you meet a woman in person, she's forming an opinion about you in the first 10 to 15 seconds. That is not an opinion you're probably ever going to be able to overcome. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. There's no doubt about that. If you meet someone and they don't seem to reciprocate your attraction to them by being attracted back to you, or you just don't vibe, but you really like this girl. You really feel like, hey, I'm going to invest time in her. Okay, take a step back. If you feel like you need to improve in your life, and if you're watching this and you're telling me you have nothing you can improve on, I don't believe you, and you can go fuck yourself. We all have shit we can improve on. We all know it. Whether it's our fitness, whether it's our knowledge, whether it's the way we treat people, the way we do business, whether it is the amount of time we waste, we all have room for improvement. the more good things you do for yourself as a man, the more confidently you're going to carry yourself through this world. And I have met lots and lots of women who will tell you that a confident 5 outshines a mealy-mouthed, meek-mannered, unconfident, unskilled, unqualified 8. If you're just straight up ugly, you can do things to help yourself, like get in immaculate condition your mind, and work it from a different angle. We all have angles to work. But more than anything, man, quit this feeling sorry for yourself bullshit. And if you're feeling sorry for yourself, get with your bros. And if you don't have bros, go find bros, man. If you are wheelchair bound, you cannot communicate, you have no other options, there are still options. And the person who I just mentioned there, I know a few of those guys. There's one coming on the podcast. As soon as we can figure out a day to get him from where he lives here, because he cannot drive, he cannot communicate well. He carries himself with the most energy, drive, and passion, more energy, drive, and passion than most able-bodied men that I know. So if you tell me, well, I don't have any friends, okay, are you out there trying to make friends? Do you go to the gym? Do you go to a church? Do you go to a baccarat club? Do you play tennis? Do you try to play ultimate frisbee? I don't know. Think of anything you could possibly want to do that's not just going and getting lit at a bar. And I guarantee you will meet other like-minded individuals, other men who are trying to further themselves. If you don't want to be the best version of you, that's a 100% your prerogative. It's your life. It's not mine. What I am telling you, man, is there is a way better way to live. And if you're stuck on, I'm going into 2023, I'm alone, I'm broke, I'm depressed, I feel helpless, I feel hopeless, all of those are things you can change. If you really want, you can. I'm here to tell you because I've been there. I'm not going to tell you something that's not true or something that I've read in a book. I have actually been there, feeling that, going into a new year. What you got, man?
So let's unpack this, right? First of all, you said the first thing you could do if they're not into you is stop, right? Stop wasting your time. So
yes.
And the second thing, back off. What you're not saying is stalk the person. You're not supposed to do that.
No, I don't think stalking. You're being sure? Funny, but no, I don't think I think that's a very masculine thing to do. If she's not interested in you, dude, do not waste time. If she's not interested in you because you perceive that that's because you're 15 pounds overweight and you live your life like a slob, go lose 20 pounds, get yourself back together and reapproach.
Yeah, I just said that because, the second thing you said, back off. I don't want people to misinterpret that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I say back off, maybe permanently. There's plenty of fish out there.
I totally agree with you, man. I'm not saying don't follow up with someone who you're genuinely interested in. Makes you look so fucking weak if you put all your eggs in one basket, guys. Become a fucking commodity, man. Make some goddamn decisions in your life. Grow up, stand up, square your shoulders up, deal with your problems. If you don't know how to deal with a problem, reach out to people who do. Go find a mentor, go find a group, and start solving problems and feeling better about yourself. And quit focusing on finding the perfect girl and thinking that's going to solve your problem, because it's not. If your problem is you, there ain't nothing outside of you that's going to solve. Jesus can't solve your problem if you won't get your lazy, fat ass out of bed in the morning and get to work.
I have a question. When you said you see this on Facebook a lot, so do you have like a lot of incels on your Facebook, like as your friends?
No, I have a very large Facebook friend group. I don't believe any of them are involuntarily celibate. I'm just seeing a lot
everything
more.
You're saying falls in line with incel mentality.
I'm seeing this from...
they can't change anything. Their bone structure is, set by God, and it's,
Yeah, what blows me away there, though, is the examples of not immaculate bone structure by some of the most powerful movers and shakers on the planet. I mean, Biden ain't got bone structure. Elon doesn't have bone structure. Zuck, he's trying to get into MMA to start looking more ripped. Bezos is looking jacked.
Have you seen Elon getting hosed off?
Yeah. I mean, listen, guys.
But I mean, even I know you didn't mention this on purpose, but look at Gary Vee back here practicing what he preaches. You know, that's him and his dad.
Oh, they yeah, so what is he Romanian?
He's Tom Bradying it.
Yeah, he is. Know. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I think that's a cultural thing.
That's not that.
I don't know, man. That's certainly not the way I greet my father. And I think if I greeted my father that way, I don't think it would be received well.
I mean, I'm just saying, if you want to be successful, Gary Vee is successful, right?
He is.
Tom Brady's successful, right?
Yes, Tom is very successful. So make out with your dad is the bottom line.
Yeah, I had a better segue into that, but I was letting you just go for it.
I was going, man. I was working up a sweat. I'm getting so fired up at all these guys who the double standard shit's what blows my mind these days, man.
And they're the ones who go and seek out, you know, the echo chamber and Fresh and Fit and all those Manosphere.
Man, that Fresh and Fit
just straight up just reaffirms that, you know, I mean, they kind of talk about what you're saying and get in shape, but they definitely double down on reaffirming these.
That's the other thing you got to be aware of, guys. There's this whole, like Sohail is saying, there is this growing surge of content, and that content, if you are watching a lot of the same content and you're like, man, I really agree with that, that's great. I hope it enriches your life, but I hope at a certain point that you are looking at that with a critical eye and saying, man, is this content making me a better person, or am I just watching this, listening to this, and liking this because I like what they're saying? Because there is a lot of that. And there's also a lot of that content coming not just from men to men, but from women to men. So you have to understand that if your eyes are on a screen of any kind, you are being marketed to at all times. So if it's a dude saying, hey man, if she's not paying attention to you, just move on to, or if it's a gal saying that, you are 100% being marketed to. What do they have to, what is this person who's telling me how to live my life? What do they have to sell to me? I actually don't have anything to sell to anyone yet.
If you're a real man and you need a roof.
Yeah, if you're a grown man and your fucking roof leaks, I really think that you should reach out to us.
We've met some of your fans, and we got the impression they were all male fans, the ones that we talked to, and that they were struggling with their manhood, and that you give them this message that it's okay to be a man.
It's not okay. It's necessary. What the hell are we going to do without men? You look around the city here, you see all these buildings go up. These men, they're doing impossible things. They're under the streets, working on the sewers. They're up on the power lines in the storms and the rain. They're keeping this impossible infrastructure functioning, this thing that works in a miraculous manner. They work themselves to death, and often literally. The gratitude for that is sorely lacking, especially.
Yeah, I would say about the gratitude for that, I don't know what Jordan, what he wants in terms of, we do have a fucking national holiday in this country that is a celebration of the hands that have built the country.
Yeah, and infamously, those are only males' hands. There's no one working under the streets and the sewers who doesn't identify as a male. But I play that clip because we're talking about masculinity, and it's really funny because the message you're sending is packaged to deliver the opposite message of what you're saying right now. Like the words you're saying right now is taken by certain people online and packaged to perpetuate that, at least in my view. Does that make sense?
To perpetuate
the opposite message of what you're saying is be a man, what that means to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but make yourself better. That's what Jordan is all about. That's what these Fresh and Fit guys are all about. But they don't make money if the men do get better.
Ah,
You know what I'm saying?
yes, I do.
So they have to harp on, oh, but no, society is still, against you because you're a man. It's
Okay,
like,
so
come on.
let me equate this. I think about this pretty often. Let me equate this directly over to sporting goods. How often do you wear out a pair of sneakers and you go buy a pair of sneakers because you've worn all the way through the sole of the ones that you've been running in every day or backpedaling or doing? A lot of people buy new sneakers because they want new sneakers and think they'll look good, and not because they need the sneakers to get more fit. So I think what's happening there, hopefully that analogy makes sense. It makes perfect sense to me. I'm watching Fresh and Fit podcast all the time. I'm listening to definitely younger dudes telling me what women want, blah, 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 telling me statistics, or Jordan or Andy Frisella, any of these people who are saying, yo, buck up. What ends up happening, though, in my opinion, is where are the little pragmatic takeaways? If you're watching a podcast or listening to a podcast or watching content online, are you just watching that content to pass time? Because if you are, in my opinion, you're letting social media run you. You're not using it as a tool for yourself. That happens from time to time. I'll be on there and I'll get a little carried away. I actually set a timer on my phone now. When I was talking about time management, I want to get into that a little bit today. You got to block your time out, man. Your time is something you never get back. And the way you use your time is 100% up to you, unless you have like a life coach who spends 24 hours a day with you, which would cost 6 figures, so not many people do that. How you spend your time is 100% up to you. You're watching Jordan Peterson, but you never take anything he says and actually put it to use. Now, he breaks things down sometimes, tells you, get up, make your bed, do your routine, go about your day. Now, go about your day. There's 8 hours right there. I know a lot of people who are more productive in 2 hours than most are in 8.
Pretty Marcus Aurelius right there.
True.
Also.
Very, very, certainly nothing that's being said now in these echo chambers that are becoming very popular, where it's this what's it mean to be a man, and kicking back against the term toxic masculinity, which is such an odd term because it means so many different things to different groups of people. Man, Marcus Aurelius was talking about living a simpler life, living a basic life, doing the little things well, way before it was ever popular on fucking social media. That's for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Jordan's doing a tour here. I think he's coming to Fort Worth in February. So $135 a ticket at the Dickies Arena. That's more than it costs to go see Rogan, man.
How much?
$135 a ticket.
What?
Yeah.
But before we close this masculinity thing, it's a good segue because you want to talk about New Year's resolutions. Tie those two together,
Well, if you're going from 2022 where maybe I hear a lot of this too. 2022 is just a bummer year, man. 2023 is just going to be better. And that's a cool thing to say on the radio or a podcast or TV or wherever the fuck you hear it. That's bullshit, man. If you're not built for and expecting adversity in 2023, you're going to get housed in 23, like you got housed in 22 if you got housed in 22. If you want to truck 2023 and run it the fuck over and make 2023 into wins, just win after win after win, you have to do the things every day that it takes to fucking win. You have to prepare your body, prepare your mind, eat right, sleep right. Don't smoke that. Don't drink that. Do this in moderation. Do that in moderation. Drink more water. Hydrate more properly. Why don't you actually learn something? Take away from social media more value than you pour into it with your time and with your money. Maybe that would just be a super valuable New Year's resolution for everyone to make. But if you're a guy, I'm telling you that if you can master the way you run your day, it'll blow your mind. And that does segue into the time management and the New Year's resolution. So being a man is about recognizing where you're at, to me. Recognizing where I'm at, recognizing if I lost, what did I do to contribute to the loss? Was there something unfair that happened? Okay, I don't give a fuck. I've got to do this, this, and this next time to win. It doesn't matter why the unfair thing happened to you, if COVID ruined your business, if your girl's in bed with some dude you work with, a business partner, or stealing your money or whatever. That's all stuff that you might perceive as happening to you. I would challenge you to look at anything you think just happens to you, something bad. I would challenge you to go to the root of it and see if you contributed in any way to these bad things that keep happening to you. Are you outworking your competition? Are you more organized? Are you better are you better for the client than the competition you just lost out to? Because I'm telling you guys, there is almost nothing special about you. Really. If you would embrace that thought, it would free you up big time, because you would understand that life is difficult. Winning is hard, man. If winning was easy, everyone would win. Everyone would just be on a high all the time. Winning would never be special, but winning's not easy. Winning takes a lot of things falling into place that a lot of victims and a lot of losers think that winners just trip and fall into these successes. They have no fucking idea how much those winners have had to go to get where they're winning. You used Brady as an example. Brady didn't even get on the field at Michigan. He barely got on the field at all. Now, let's take his facial reconstructive surgery away, his new divorce away. Let's take all of the Super Bowls away. Let's go back to when he first came in the league. He gets drafted by the Patriots, and he's sitting behind another Washington State great, Drew Bledsoe. And what does Brady do? He starts working on himself. He starts learning. He sees it as an opportunity. And a lot of people say he always knew he was destined for greatness. I certainly find that very difficult to believe. He was drafted really low. He had almost no track record in college. He came in to back up Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe got knocked out of the game against the Jets, lacerated a kidney. Onto the field walks a prepared Tom Brady who went into his professional career with humility and was coachable. And he went in there and he ran the plays. That's what he did. A winner who hadn't even won yet, Belichick, told him, run these plays. And Brady said, I'm running these plays. I'm not going to divert. I'm not going to make it shit up as I go along. I'm not going to think that I can outsmart the system. He just ran plays. Guys, if you're on a losing streak, taking a look at why you're losing, only change one thing in a week. Just change one thing in a week. Make it really, really small. Wake up 15 minutes earlier than you wake up. You don't need as much sleep as you think you need. And you're not getting as much quality sleep as you think you are when your alarm bell goes off at 5:30, whatever, in the morning, 6:45, 7, whatever. Set that fucker back to 15 minutes. Start getting up 15 minutes earlier. And start putting your phone down at like 8 p.m. at night. That is really hard for me. That's been very difficult. That doesn't work for me every night. There are times when I have to accomplish something on the phone. Blocking off your time is the biggest time hack in the world, and part of that is waking up earlier. I am unaware of a lot of super successful people who would tell you that on their journey to becoming super successful, they got less and less and less disciplined. I've not heard those types of stories. I'm seeing stories about fake successful people like the FTX kid, Sam. His life, the way he lives, an absolute uproarious wildfire of a shit show of chaos and an undisciplined way to live. Am I saying that everybody has to be David Goggins? No, I don't even think that's sustainable. But what I am saying is, if you're waking up late or you're waking up tired, why don't you look at what you're doing to contribute to that? Are you drinking? Alcohol ruins your sleep. Are you smoking a lot of pot before you go to sleep? Pot is good for some things. It is not great for extended REM sleep at all. Are you investing in things like a daylight alarm to wake you up gently in the morning so when you wake up, you don't have an anxiety attack? Are you eating at a set time every night? Are you drinking certain types of water? I know guys, they calibrate how much water they drink every day, and starting at a certain time in the day, they start drinking a certain amount, and it's actually that wakes them up in the morning. So they they stop intaking or downloading hydration into their system at a certain time. Then they put a certain amount of hydration in, and that wakes them up at 6 a.m. Naturally, their body wakes them up because they have to use the restroom. That takes some thought. What's that?
I do that.
That's
I
awesome.
Time my pee to when I wake up.
That's awesome. I think that's where it's at. I think hey, I've talked about this before, like the self-love thing. We had Nicole Wise on several weeks ago. She's fascinating. She's talking about how she doesn't like this love yourself. If you're a fat fuck and you're a loser, love yourself. No, man. I started loving myself when I started putting more time, effort, energy, and intention into building myself. When I looked around and I had a victim mentality and I was like, man, I've thought these thoughts. I wish someone would just come in here, rescue me, and fix this. You know, that's never going to happen, yo. No one is coming to save you. No one ever is coming to save you. And dudes, even if you meet the perfect girl in 2023, but your expectations are for her to save you, to elevate you, when I meet her, I'm going to eat clean. When I meet her, I'm going to quit partying. When I meet her, I'm going to become more ambitious. No, bro. It's not going to happen, man. You're going to meet her. You're going to put so many expectations on this girl that she's somehow some imminent being that's going to change who you are, but your habits suck and you're not intentional about changing them. What you got?
I just want to say how important it is to emphasize it's not a switch that can just flip on and off. It is, like you said, little small changes that build habits and break other ones slowly. Because how many times have we said, oh, I'm going to start eating 100% clean, work out twice a day, or work out every day, or work out even 3 times a week, whatever's more than you're used to. It lasts for a week or two, and you're like, oh, fuck this.
Well, what are we talking about? We're talking about sustainability, right? So I'm pretty interested in optimization and enhancement. No, not male girth enhancement, just enhancement, performance enhancement, optimization of how we operate, how much I can get done, my productivity. Take into account just how you breathe. We talked to Josh a couple weeks ago talking about mouth breathing or nose breathing. It's very on trend right now to tape your mouth when you're sleeping. I've broken my nose so many times I have to use a sleep apnea thing because my nose closes up in the middle of the night because it's just a disaster. I have to get it rebuilt like Mike Rowe did. I have to get my nose sawed off. They peel it back, they lay it on your forehead, and they rework all those, and then they set it back down, and they stitch it back into place. It's a son of a bitch, but I have to do breathing through your nose when you're working out, so it's not natural. Often I'll find myself, now that I'm mindful of it, I'm breathing through my mouth. I have signs up in my garage on the wall, just scratch paper, that just say, breathe through your nose. 3 of them. And it reminds me, I get sidetracked. Maybe I do look at my phone in the middle of my workout, whatever. So little things, guys. The notion that, okay, the next 10 days, I'm going to blow off. I'm going to party. I'm going to eat like a fucking loser. I'm not going to eat like a winner, like a champion, because there's pie over there. There's a bucket of mashed potatoes over here. There's a Home Depot bucket of gravy. And there's like all this liquor, and I'm just going to put it all in me, and then Jan 1, I'm going to push a button, I'm going to change. That's not how it fucking works. If that works for you, that's awesome. You should start creating content and telling the world how it works, because that sounds like an easy button, and our society right now is 100% addicted to the easier, softer, faster way. I think what we find by the people who become more and more popular, especially among men, are these guys who are telling you, bro, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Or, hey, you got to be a savage. Whether you need to use that savagery or not, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Guess what? Building your body into the body of a warrior, there is no easy button for that. There is no USB download from Steve Kuklo or Josh Thomas that I can sell you through the link in my bio that you're going to plug into your neck, and all of a sudden you're going to be 260, jacked, throwing up 225 52 times NFL Combine record with a 40-inch vert. That just doesn't happen, you guys. It has to come down to the little things you do every day. So what I would encourage you to do is something that I've started to incorporate into my lifestyle, which is habit stacking. So I figure out a couple of things that I want to do, and I figure out how can I get these habits worked into my daily routine so that they are sustainable. For example, when I wake up in the morning, I have no lights on in my house. I go over to the shades, I open the shades. I do have night lights, motion sensor night lights. You get them for like $3 on Amazon. None of this shit is expensive. I have another product that is in my Linktree. I make no money from it. I just put biohacking stuff up there because it fascinates me. It's called a Toy-Light. It goes inside your toilet. It's motion sensor. You need the toilet in the middle of the night. You do not have to turn your bathroom light on. This is working on your circadian rhythms. It also helps how you get into your day. And then if you can get outside to walk the dog to get sun in your eyes within the first hour or two of waking up, it's going to help you a fuck ton. No light in the morning. Before I take any stimulant like Sohail loves Masha, I drink coffee sometimes. I drink a nootropic sometimes. I'll drink other things that aren't as great for you. I like Diet Mountain Dew. Not great for you. Try to limit
That
those.
shit's so good.
Yeah, but it's rad. I love it. Before you do that, get 20 ounces of water into yourself. So immediately when you wake up, if you got to go take a piss, water out, water in. Immediately do that. Then drink your coffee, and I think you'll notice a difference. That was the one was a little hard for me. Sometimes my coffee is a ritual, my nootropic. I also drink hot. I mix a lot of stuff into it, like MCT oil, a green supplement, things like that. Then I drink it. Try to get that water into yourself first. So light, how you hydrate in the morning. So it's these little habit stacks. If you start adding these into your routine so that they don't take all this time, then they will be sustainable. And if you start folding these little things into how you live your life, the days of I'm going to make all these badass New Year's resolutions and stick with them. If you don't go to the gym right now, you're not going to go to the gym February 16th. You might think you will when on Jan 1 you write it in your planner. I also know a lot of people who just give up on New Year's resolutions. I think New Year's resolutions are a cop-out because I think they keep a lot of people from changing right now. Does this mean you can't have stuffing at Christmas dinner or a couple of drinks? No, I mean, you do whatever the hell you want to do. I'm just telling you that if you want to win in 2023, you have to approach 2023 like a championship athlete would, which would be, I know my competition does this. I know I want to beat my competition. I'm going to do this, but then I'm also going to figure out shit my competition has no idea about. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to be about it way more than I'm going to talk about it. I talk about this stuff because it does fire me up that when you do start to change little things, that it can really, really enhance your life and it can make your life much more enjoyable. The other thing that I would do if I was you guys, I do this. This was
Stick it
a
up your
game
ass.
changer. Yes. I would 100% get with an optimization doctor of some kind. You can get with Blake York. You can get with Guy Mesger. I can turn you on to Prime Body. Get your levels taken. Look and see what your hormone levels are like. Look at where you're at. Look at your triglycerides. Look at your blood pressure. Look at all of that and see where you're at. If you're waking up in the morning and you feel like shit, it might be because you're drinking or smoking or doing whatever, but it also might be that because you've been eating and drinking so much artificial shit and breathing this air that's got smog in it for however old you are, that it's all gotten into you and your levels are so depressed and so low that you are also depressed and low and anxious and worrisome, and your estrogen's way out of whack with your testosterone, and you're not carrying yourself like a man, like a bad motherfucker, because your chemical makeup is not the chemical makeup of a bad motherfucker. So if you start putting it in the work, losing the weight, putting on the weight, whatever it is that you need to do, and your levels start to level out, you're going to start feeling way, way better. Way better. It's going to be a whole different ball game for you. You're going to feel like like a world beater. I can tell you all of these things. I can recommend all of these things. If you DM me, I can turn you on to the people who can help you. They are going to cost you money. They're going to cost you time. So you have to do a cost-benefit analysis. Do I feel so bad that I'm willing to invest this time that I would have spent chasing girls on Tinder, or this money that I would have spent on something I don't really need to try to feel better and be better? Or am I content meddling in the middle ground between a winner and a loser, somewhere in the average, in the beige, in the middle? Beige is different than gray. Gray is a color. It's a good color. It's one of my favorites. I'm wearing a gray shirt and a gray hat right. Beige is different. You meet somebody, you go, that's a beige person. That is a person who is cool, going with the flow, who has no goals. And if you're that type of person and you're happy with your life, continue being happy with your life. What I'm telling you is, whether it's Facebook or there's tons of this on TikTok too, man, videos bitching and moaning about I can't get the girl. You can't get the girl because when the girl looks at you, the girl sees a fucking loser, man. And girls don't want to be around losers. I'm just telling you right now, that is the bottom line. If you want to be better, be better. Quit talking about it. Quit writing about it. Quit fucking researching it. Do something for yourself today that will make you better, that will make you more athletic, that will make you smarter, that will make you richer, that will make you bigger, stronger, faster, funnier, whatever it is. You can do it, man. How about this? If you don't know how to talk to girls, start watching comedy special stand-ups instead of watching, I don't know, what the fuck do dudes do now? Instead of gaming with your buddies on Fortnite or whatever, I'm very out of touch with gaming. Go watch the Tom Papa stand-up. Not one fucking cuss word. He is a genius. Learn how to carry a conversation, a one-sided conversation, and make the other person laugh. If you can do that and you can learn how to listen, sky's the limit. I mean, you can get anywhere you want if you will develop a skill. That's developing a skill, though. The Tom Papa special, too. Funny, but not as good as his last one. His last one, You're Doing Great. Man, an hour of laughs. This new one is good, but I feel like Netflix and HBO are so strapped for content that they're pushing these guys to try to get the comedy out before it's ready, maybe. But Tom is a gem. He's awesome. You can be... You think that you think Liver King got to where he was getting because his gimmick was, hey yo, you got to work really, really hard and you got to sleep right and eat right and there is no easy button to fitness? No, he told everyone, if you will eat a horse dick, your dick will get better. Literally, he said if you eat the organ of an animal, it benefits your parallel organ. So I'm going to eat some liver, I'm going to eat a horse dick, I'm going to get a horse dick, and then I'm going to be good to go. Shoot, man, if you can't carry a conversation, it doesn't matter how good looking you are, you're pretty much dead in the water, because women are attracted to personalities that they recognize. When a woman meets you, she immediately categorizes you into the category of someone who she has already met in your life. A lot of people say that women marry guys who are like their own fathers, right? I think there's some science behind that, Sohail. Not a ton. It's also kind of a weird statistic. I don't know. I've seen some parallels like that in some places in my life, but you're going to get categorized. So when you meet a woman, if you come across as the fly on the wall or as the opposite, as the guy who won't ever shut up and who's the class clown, it's not going to work for you. Balance all of that with, you got to be yourself, man, because if you get a girl based on a fake character, it's not going to last.
It's called W-Riz.
W-Riz?
Yep.
Weird. I think the important thing is, what if being yourself right now sucks because you have nothing to offer? And I think, like I said before, when you recognize that there's actually not that much special about you, if you can recognize that before the guy who you're competing against recognizes that, and then you see, okay, I have to do this, this, and this, these practical things in my life to differentiate myself, and I have to attack adversity on a daily basis. If you recognize that before the other guy does, you're going to get further than he is. You're going to get the girl. It's the bottom line. I mean, this is, like I said, it's survival of the fittest. People are attracted to who they're attracted to. You don't have any control of that. But I will tell you what you do have control of. It's making yourself as attractive as you possibly fucking can. And that comes down to the daily decisions that you make. The little tiny things that you start stacking on each other until you've built this wall, this impervious wall that's completely indomitable, that runs the show. You run your life. Things come at you that you don't expect. You address them, take care of them, move on. You might take some L's in your life. You might be on a winning streak. All life is this continuous wheel of win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. You might have a couple wins in a row, but then things are going to crumble. Fuck, look at Brady. I mean, a lot of people probably think he's actually on a win streak because he once again traded in a later model for a newer one. Isn't Brady with some Czech Republic supermodel who's like 25? She was wearing his jersey the other day. Who knows, man? What I am telling you is you have control of a lot more things that you have than you think you have control of, and you're way more capable than you think you're capable of. And with that, I think we're almost up against our time because I've got the great Dallas legend MMA absolute OG from the UFC, Guy Mesger, coming in the studio. Sohail and I got to set the studio up for that. Appreciate you guys joining me for the JESS Marshall podcast. You should DM me on Instagram at Jess from the Northwest. If you need our help, autograph construction, quality is our signature. Our team is on your side. You can email me anytime. Roof help, restoration help, construction help, live at autographconstruction.com. Get out there, live a fearless DIY life. If you know somebody who you think should come on the JESS Marshall podcast, please hook me up. If that's you, DM me. Let's work it out. Guys, gals, there's badasses all over the planet. If you can take anything from this podcast, like I recommended, it's align yourself with people who are actually trying in their life. Get away from these people who are beige and who are just cool, going with the flow in the middle of shit. They never win. They never really lose. They never really get anywhere. I hope that's not the type of life you want to live. That's certainly not the type I want to live, and I'll see you guys next time. What's up? Thanks for checking out my videos here on the JESS Marshall YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe for sure. Hit that bell. Press that button to watch the next video. If you got a question you have about any of the topics I bring up in the videos, drop a question below, and we'll be sure to get an answer back to you ASAP. See you on the next one.